The next method will be called template item, so come after our init, template item colon function, and we take a few parameters here. The first one will be called this extension. Second one will be this old name, then this new name, and this size. Now I'm going to explain you why we have this old name and this new name, because obviously extension and size is pretty self-explanatory. This old name is going to contain the value of the original name of the file. When we're going to upload the file, we're going to rename it within the PHP file. We're going to rename it. We're going to attach the extension to it, and we're also going to be doing some other weird stuff basically in order to make sure that this whole upload is secure. Because as you know, once we allow someone to upload stuff to our server, we are open to all sorts of problems. That's why we're going to cover, one chapter is going to be covered, one chapter practically, it's going to be one video, where we're going to be talking about securing our uploads, basically our folder for the uploads and so on. But that's what we're keeping actually. We're going to be renaming it. We want to display the old name to the client, whoever's uploading basically the files. We want them to see their own name of the file, while we're going to be referring to it by its new name from within the code. Okay, so we've got the definition of our new method here. We're going to start with use strict again. Then we go for if this extension, let me copy this because I tend to misspell things, as you might have already noticed, doesn't equal empty, then and this old name is an empty, and this new name is an empty. We're not too worried about the size basically, so these are the main things we want to make sure that have been passed through the parameters. And again, I'm going to close this browser on the left. So now that we know that we've got these values basically passed through the parameters, then we go for var this item equals, and we start with a div with the class upload item. Sorry, we're not closing this yet. So space, single quote, and now we're concatenating. So this item plus equals, we go for data new name attribute, and then double quote, single quote, plus to concatenate this new name. And again, I'm going to copy this new name, then plus to concatenate close double quote, single quote, semicolon, and we again going to concatenate this item plus equals, this time we're looking for another attribute called data old name, double quote, single quote, plus, and let's copy the name of the variable, double quote, and now we can actually close this. So like this, double quote, closing tag, single quote, semicolon. Okay, so that's the first part done. Now this item, let's concatenate it further. This time we're going for span in between the single quotes, span with the class remove item, and then remove, then we close span tag, single quote and semicolon, then we go for this item plus equals, we go for div class upload icon, then space, single quote and semicolon, because we're going to be concatenating this further. Then we go for this item plus equals, and what we're gonna do now is use the extension as the class name. Our CSS file already knows what to do with this. Basically, if we have JPG class, then we use the specific image as well. Rather than image position, because we're using sprite here. Okay, this item plus equals after the extension, single quote, closing the class attribute, closing the tag, and then closing div tag as well. Semicolon after this item plus equals, we go for single quote span, and in between the plus and between the span we are going to be using old name, concatenating with the plus, then single quote space and bracket, single quote plus size, plus single quote closing bracket, closing span tag. Then we go for this item plus equals, and we close our div here, the main one. And once we've got all this done, we simply return this item. So that's our template for the, obviously for our items. Once they've been uploaded, we're going to append this template with the relevant values to our container. So that's our template item.